Okay, so good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Irving Arts Center's Lunch and Learn. My name is Marcy Inman. I'm Director of Exhibitions and Educational Programs at Irving Arts Center. And for those first-time attendees, Lunch and Learn is an informal art education program for adults that provides fun and informative enrichment opportunities, as well as a lively discussion forum for exploring current exhibitions at IAC and other art-related topics. We meet the first Tuesday of the month, October through May. Our guest speaker today is Sudeep Kumar, who is a painter, illustrator, and urban sketcher based in Frisco, Texas. His work is currently featured in the exhibition Invisible Spaces, Watercolors and Drawings by Sudeep Kumar at the Irving Arts Center through March 29th. As he writes in his artist statement, art for Sudeep is like a meditation, a silent conversation with the self, and a means by which he can see things more clearly. Spontaneity, unpredictability, and self-discovery in making the artwork are essential to his practice. Sudeep's work is all about capturing the energy or mood of a place or event and presenting it to the audience to have them connect to the subject more closely. His process begins with seeking out a location, a scene, or a vignette, often overlooked in our mundane day-to-day activities. He then draws from life, so to speak, on location, then followed by final touches and finishing the work in his studio. In today's world of technological advancement, Sudeep believes we as a species are losing touch with our surroundings, our environment, and our fellow human beings. Real connection or intimacy is missing. Through his art, Sudeep conveys these missing elements so the viewer may take a step back from their busy life to explore their surroundings more fully and appreciate the hidden beauty in everyday experiences. We are recording today's presentation, and Sudeep's talk will be available to view on the Irving Arts Center's YouTube channel in the next 2 to 3 weeks. If you have not visited our YouTube channel, please do so. Go to YouTube, search Irving Arts Center, like, and subscribe. As always, there is time allotted for Q&A after his talk. Please raise your hand to speak, and a microphone will be passed to you. The microphone is necessary so we can capture the audio of all your comments and questions on the recording. So without further ado, please join me in a very warm welcome for Sudeep Kumar.
Thank you. Thank you, Nancy. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm super delighted to be here at Irving Arts Center for this special lunch and learn session. And first and foremost, I would like to thank everyone for taking time and joining me for this session here. And it's truly an honor and privilege to be sharing my artistic journey and the stories behind the artwork which I have created. And my heartfelt, thanks to Marcy for giving me, opportunity here. As Marcy introduced, my name is Sudeep Kumar. I live in Frisco with my lovely wife, Gauri. She herself is a well-established artist, and she had played a major role in my artistic journey. And in today's session, I will be sharing where I come from, my artistic journey. One second, I think I'm seeing some challenge here. Sorry about that. So in today's session, I'll be sharing where I come from, my artistic journey, and discovering urban sketching. And today's session is mainly about urban sketching. I'll be sharing more details. So my urban sketching, discovering urban sketching, and the role urban sketching has played in my artistic journey until now, altogether. And I was born and brought up in India, a small town called Meerut. It's not too far from Delhi, which is the capital city of India. From the early ages, I was good in drawings and paintings, but when it comes to painting or art as a subject, art as a profession, it's not considered as a good profession. People can, make livelihood out of it. So I was not encouraged to continue art as a major subject. Instead of that, I continued in the direction of science, where science and math especially. I was good in studies as well, so I became a computer engineer. I finished bachelor's in computer science and master's in computer science, and got a job back in India as well. But overall, throughout this my career, when I'm learning and exploring different options, art was already always there in the back of my mind, and as and when there was an opportunity for showcase my artistic skill, I never shied away. Whether it's a biology class and I need to create a big presentation to show the intricacies of human body or skeletons, or when it comes to engineering, drawing 3D perspectives and whatnot. And I also have the friends and families who are having some challenges in their art project itself. So I moved out of India in 1999, and I moved to Europe, Cyprus to be more precise. So Cyprus, I was working for an IT company in the field of telecommunication, supporting the European market. And from there, I got exposed to Europe. I used to travel to Europe, saw the different culture, different aspects of the life people live in Europe. And from there, I moved to state in 2005, working for AT&T. Evenings used to be free back then, watching TVs and not doing anything productive. So I thought of exploring more in the drawing and sketching space. I enrolled for continued education program from the Collin College. And there I took a couple of classes, but continued education is not intense. This was like a hobby kind of thing. Somebody suggested, why don't you go to Collin College? So I found their catalog and I enrolled myself for 3D animation and digital video. So we are talking about maybe around 2008 or 9, something like that. So there I connected with like-minded people, and that kind of fueled my artistic journey. That is where it all kind of started. So there I took all kind of classes which were available in the college. It could be live drawing, animation, Photoshop, and whatnot. Then in 2012, I met Gauri, my wife, and we got married in 2013. And in 2014, she only introduced me to Urban Sketching Group, Dallas Urban Sketching Group. At that time, James Richards was the admin or the group admin for the Dallas group, and he taught me and shared his tips and tricks and techniques, what to use, what not to use altogether. He was super inspiring for me. And since then, there is no going back altogether. It's been 11 years. I have joined Dallas Urban Sketching Group. Along with 3 admins, I am one of the admin, and we are responsible for the complete group. So art for me has always been is more than the colors on the canvas. It's uh, it's not only the line or the shapes on the paper. It's more of a meditation. It's a self conversation with my surroundings. When I'm doing sketching and painting, I'm not only just capturing what I'm seeing it as it is. I'm also capturing the mood and the energy and the meaning behind it. And through all this process, I have connected with a city. I mean, not only a specific city, I'm talking about the whole, whether it's Plano, Richardson, Dallas, or Irving, all together. I have seen how city has grown from one space to another space. I have seen um, 29 stories building constructed starting from the beginning to the top floor, and I have done multiple sketches for those places as well. So it's a connection with the city. And as I said, urban sketching has played a major role in my artistic journey. So, what is urban sketching? So, urban sketching is a form of sketching or drawing which has two aspects to it. So, first one is drawing from the observation. On location, you're documenting the real world as you see it. And it can be indoor, it can be outdoor as well. And the second important aspect is sharing those sketches. Sharing is very important. So it's about the community. It's meeting, sketching, and sharing. The beauty of the urban sketching artwork is very informal environment. And there is much deeper connection with the environment here, as I mentioned. It is the act of placing oneself in a space, attempting to capture and interpret a particular moment in time. Urban sketching is not about the object, it's about the place. A place we can put it on a map. And it's a story about the place in the time frame. So, what is considered as an urban sketch? So, when somebody is out there in a Starbucks cafe or any other cafe and drawing a cup and plate, can it be considered as urban sketch? Or somebody is outside in the corner of a street and drawing a cat, can it be considered urban sketch? So as I mentioned, it's about the place. Is the overall complete place that's considered as a urban sketch. And if you're drawing a side portrait of a person in a park setup, or if you're drawing from a reference photo, can it be considered as urban sketch? No. So it's all about experiencing that place in the space and in the time. So I'll be sharing some of my early work. This is how I started with a ink pen and sepia ink and a water brush. And it used to be a notebook of this size. This is not pure watercolor paper as well. And you're more than welcome to have a look around. These are very early sketches. So as I mentioned, so we are covering the whole space. So what you're seeing over here is Hare Krishna Temple in South Dallas. And the reason I picked up this topic is because of it's architecturally very rich. And on the other side of it, which I did not know when I visited it, it's one of the best places for the vegetarian food. The name of the restaurant is called Kalachanti. Kalachanti, yeah. And as I said, it was done in pen and ink, and I did not even had the watercolor at that time. It was pure ink and the water brush and the ink pen. This one is Frontier Flight Museum, Dallas, and as part of the learning, it's okay to remove or do not emphasize on the subject matter which you are or not interested in. So I kind of remove the backdrop like completely, or just created a light lines around those subject matters. This one is a Hispanic Heritage Month community fair at Trinity Bridge in Dallas. So most of the sketches, what you're seeing is around 2016 altogether. So here, most of the time, people ask the question, "How do you draw the people?" People is considered as a difficult subject matter altogether, especially in such a setting because everything is kind of moving altogether. So the best way to draw the people is consider as a human figure as three portion. It has head, it has a torso, and the leg. So you pick one person and draw its head. Once you complete the head, you will notice that the person has moved out. So you take another person and take its torso and add it to the head. And this way you kind of create the crowd scene altogether. And as I mentioned, it's not the individual details of that person. It's about the energy of the place, what all is happening. That is what more important is. Next one is it's a construction site, capturing the raw energy of a construction site. And as I mentioned, this was also done with pen and ink, sepia, and there's a little bit of touch of blue color itself. And that is where I started using my this watercolor brush. It's very inexpensive. It's like maybe $29, $30 on. I still have it. These two I bought it like maybe 10 years ago. I still have. I have not completely used it. It used to be a little bit more scary, like to how not to draw, not to destroy the painting itself. But as I have moved forward itself, it's okay to do the mistakes as well. Um, when we are out there, we meet all kind of people, all kind of different people. So it's about community, building that connections. And in a nutshell, for me, coming from India, it's also important. uh, I connect or become a part of the community when I'm out here. So I met over there different kind of people. So this bike, the name of this bike was Hank. And this is kind of interesting because the first time I heard like people have name for their objects, the bikes. And it was from Bishop Arts District. The name of the bike was Hank, and the owner of this bike was a restaurant server. So when I was out there drawing, he came and he really liked it, and he was willing to trade this artwork for food, drinks, and in the restaurants actually, because this was his baby actually. And later on, I mean, it did not happen on the location. Then he sent me a message on the Facebook, and finally he got this painting. So somebody who is starting urban sketching journey, I mean, how should somebody go about it? So the first and foremost aspect is choosing locations and the subjects. So for starting, you can pick out a location which is quiet and secluded. And it's always as you grow, in this journey, you will find when you're out there, the noise and the people kind of walking and they're looking at your artwork. That's kind of entertainment part to it. So in the beginning, find a location which is quiet and secluded outside your house. It could be view across the street, and there is no scarcity of the subject matters. I mean, the places are full of objects and things which somebody can pick up. It could be farmers market, it could be store, museums, schools, parks, anything, whatever you can think of. And pick up a focus element in the scene, what you want to capture it out. It could be architecture, it could be people you see at the festival, or it could be something which you like it. There is no, as I mentioned, urban sketching is very informal. People pick what they like, and they take up it as a subject matter. So the artwork what you see here is a Starbucks cafe at the intersection of North Star and Renner Road. The interesting part is, as you do these sketches, you remember those places very. It's there in your memory. I mean, I can recall how I was feeling at that moment and when I was drawing it altogether. What are the tools needed for urban sketching? I mean, you don't need anything fancy. You just need simply a something to draw with and something to draw on. You don't have to make it super complicated. However, just having a paper and pencil might not allow you to have the best experience, so you can invest it in a different tools itself. But people use all kind of media. Some people are comfortable with pen, some are with pencil, some are with charcoal or color pencils. So whatever is your preference, you can choose as a as a media. So as I have, it's been around more than a decade in urban sketching, I has developed some tips and tricks, and this is what I follow in terms of my process. So when you're out there, you have selected a subject. The first thing you need to do is look around, take it all in, and see the beauty of the place. Do not get overwhelmed with a like minute details, because there can be thousands of windows, a forest of trees and peoples. Do not get overwhelmed with all the information which is available. You just start with the basics, with the big forms, and then you kind of develop your style. I use SEE as a as a I would say abbreviation to remind myself how I process. The first one, this S stand in the C is kind of settle down, settle your mind. After you have looked around, find a place to sit. Next one is emotional response. So whatever the subject matter you are choosing, see if there is an emotional response to you as personally. Do you connect with a place? Do you connect with energy? And then if you connect with the energy, if you connect with the place itself, there is a very good chances it will connect with the audiences as well. So does the scene say something about you? Does it tell a story? Express one idea. Keeping your focus will make a more impactful sketch. You can use a viewer as well. If you don't have a viewer, you can use your fingers to kind of see, okay, this is what you're going to be interested in to express one idea. This is the three-step process which I follow it, and it has always worked. So first one is rough or light drawing, outline with a pencil. Then you can move to pen and ink pen. And later on, you can add watercolor and paint. And at this time, I would like to mention it. There's always a phase when we are doing the sketch where we say it looks horrible. So that's also is like a five-step process, which again I have kind of developed it. You start with some idea, then you see, oh, looks nice, and then you go to the second step. You can, oh, it's not looking nice. Then you go to the third place, and then you see, oh, it looks horrible. That is the place you need to be there, and you need to continue without putting it out in a trash can, and then you'll start seeing it. Oh, it looks okay. And then you go to the fifth step and it looks wonderful. For me, it has worked always. There is a little bit of struggle in the middle portion, but if you continue, if you pass that 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, you will see you will create a beautiful artwork. So these are the tools I started with. I still use them. These are key ingredient in all of my artworks. The first one is a Lamy Safari fountain pen. It's available on Amazon around $30. Noodler's ink, the black ink. This is how I started. Then I found out other ink. Noodler is very good brand. There are many different variety of the inks available. Lamy Z28 converter. So Safari pen come up with already filled cartridges, but you can use a converter which you can refill with the ink, and then it goes very well into Lamy Safari pen. So this way, your main cost will be towards the ink. And I had many selection of pencil, but this is what I prefer. It's very light. It's a automatic pencil from Pentel as a brand. This was my first water color box. It's a Sakura Koi pocket fill. Again, they have 12 paint set as well as 24 and 36, but I chose this 24 one. It was more than enough for me to kind of start with. And it's good to invest in the good water brush. Sorry, not in the watercolor brush set, but that I bought it at a later stage. Initially, I just went with a water brush. That was more than sufficient for me. When it comes to paper, I prefer personally, again, the one which I had it in the beginning, it was not even a watercolor. It was a little bit thick, 120 pounds. But now I invested in Archie's cold press and sometimes hot pressed. Hot pressed is good for using ink pen. Watercolor is slightly challenging. Pencil works very well. Bohong is another good brand which can be used as well. So the important aspect of urban sketching is on location. So this is how a typical outing looks like. You will see people, they have their own tools and a notebook, and they're completely engrossed in the scene and they're sketching it out. These are a few more pictures. So you see people have their own kind of style, a small, tiny box where they have the watercolor and they're having fun. So Urban Sketcher is a global community of artists. It's a non-profit organization as well. and we draw on location. We are capturing the life that flows around us, wherever it happens to be. It was started in 2007, and by a by a Seattle-based journalist. His name is Campanario, and later on he converted into a non-profit organization, and it becomes more like a movement. Like any other organization had their DNAs and manifesto. Urban Sketcher has a manifesto as well to make sure everybody is following a process. So we draw on location, indoors or out, capturing what we see from direct observation. Our drawings tell the story of our surroundings, the places we live, and where we travel. So I will share these slides as well. I mean, you're welcome to go through it. And but the key motto is we show the world one drawing at a time. There is a certain amount of beauty. I mean, camera can capture the scene as well, but if somebody is drawing or capturing a moment in time, there is certain amount of beauty and energy into it. And 10 people can sit and looking at the one subject, you will see they will come up with a totally different sketches. How we operate. So in Urban Sketcher, we have sketch crawls, we have network of blogs and online groups where people can go in and share. We have International Urban Sketcher Symposium, which happened once in a year. We are urban sketching workshop, which is organized by more the professional of the people who has been with the group for many years. We have monthly drawing attention, which is like a newsletter showcasing what all is happening around the world. We partner with the like-minded organizations in terms of coming, painting and drawing, and sometimes it becomes more like a PR for the location which we choose. So we had a visit to Frisco New Library. There in the middle of it, they have a huge dinosaur sculpture. And it was a big hit, and library people, they liked it, and we shared the pictures. It was a big promo for them as well. So sketch crawls, how it works. Sketch crawls is the heart of urban sketchers. They are local admins, and generally is multiple cities or one city coming together, like-minded people, and we form a group. We call it a chapter. Admins are responsible for location scouting, making sure the location has enough parking, is indoor, outdoor, as per the weather conditions, making sure there is a restaurant nearby, and so that people can go for the lunch afterwards. Frequency is once in a month or twice in a month. It depends on the group. Duration is 2 hours. It starts with a 5 minutes introduction, then we disperse and we choose whatever we want to draw, and then we meet after 2 hours and we do a throwdowns. So when it comes to rules, there are no rules in urban sketchers. People come from all walks of life. Some are professors, some are well-established artists, some are just starting the artistic journey. So there are no rules. Anyone can participate. They can draw for 20 minutes or the full schedule times. Any level of ability, but make sure bring your own sketching gear. Kids under 16 must be accompanied by adult, and we have a throwdown, and there we do the sharing and critique. We get together for lunch and happy hour afterwards. And as I mentioned, the key aspect is sharing pictures on social media and blogs or the websites. That's the second most important part of the urban sketching. This is the global urban sketching group, www.urbansketches.org, and we have a Facebook group as well. People who are interested, they can go and become the member of it. This is our last outing for Dallas Urban Sketchers, where we went to North Park Mall. Whether it was in January, not too couple of weeks ago. Weather was a little bit chilly, so we wanted some indoor space, and we had a good fun. And on that day, North Park, they had other musical things kind of going on. As a place, North Park is very artsy, and they have a lot of nice sculptures. This is the Facebook group for Dallas Urban Sketchers, and that's the email. So these are some of other artwork which I have created out of urban sketching, outings, and you will see majority of them are still being created in sepia ink and a very, I think one of the sketch maybe there in the notebook which I shared. So this is, can somebody guess it, like what this place is will be? It can be anywhere actually if you look at it, but this is Toyota headquarters, which is under construction in 2016. Toyota headquarters on 121. They moved to Dallas area around that time. So this is Toyota headquarters. So here I'm capturing the raw energy of unfinished construction site and recording this event in time. This is done. You will never ever see this as a Toyota headquarters. And later on, this artwork was bought in by ISD teacher in Allen. So I mean, interesting uh, way people connect with the places and they own them. This is I-35 East, which is Denton bound. So you can see there's a lot of construction happen. I-35 was never like that. So here I'm capturing the afternoon traffic. And now I-35 is all constructed. It's nice, and the traffic is not that much. It's very smooth. This one is a gas station at the intersection of Coit and Legacy Drive. I mean, as I mentioned, there is no scarcity of the subject matter. City is full of all kind of, things. This is again I-35 and 121 intersection. This is again all constructed. I like the way all these three pillars were kind of lined up. And there is no dull moment when it comes to urban sketchers life. This is, I always keep my notebook and pen, and this is while I was traveling to India. This was at Dubai airport. This one is during Chinese year, New Year celebration in downtown Dallas, 2017. This is level 29. This is one of the tallest building in Legacy West area. This is apartment complex, and I was so fascinated by this subject matter. I did 10 drawings from a different vantage point just to show it how the energy is moving, how a building is getting constructed to its complete stage itself. So these are what I will be showing you, the more recent work which I had created. And as I mentioned earlier, Urban Sketchers outings taught me how to observe, connect with my surrounding, feel the energy, and of course, a community of like-minded people. And they gave me an encouragement and a platform to showcase my artwork. And it also provided me the feedback, and that let me continue my journey. So a good number of these sketches, of course, majority of them was done on the location, and I put the final touches, and I started playing with the watercolor more and more. You can see them. There is a more water element into these painting. So this is, I title this artwork as Sometimes Rain, Sometimes Sunshine. This is a scene from Frisco Main Street, where the grain tower is standing tall in the background. The idea was to capture the grain tower. I mean, it's a monument, and a lot of cities, these grain towers are kind of going away with the latest construction, and also I wanted to. This was more of a homage to the grain tower. This is a detailed drawing of a winter scene, and this was at close to Main Street and freeway. I titled this artwork as "Winter Trees Unadorned. Notice the Strength." This was done in pen and ink as well, and as I mentioned, is more detailed. Sometime I visit these places to multiple times just to make sure I am in that mode. I'm sensing that energy. This next artwork which I'm showing is titled Friends. This was done during COVID times, and this was a difficult time for everybody. And generally, when it comes to difficult time, what is more important, the the temple, the belief in those temples, or the friendship? So I wanted to put out that aspect of human connections, where these two ladies, they used to come very often to visit the temples, and they were sitting together and chit chatting with each other. So for me, the most important part was the connection, the human connection, and and the faith in each other. Here, this was also done in pen and ink and a little bit of wash from the blue color. This is Frisco Square under construction. So this artwork showcases the organized chaos of a construction site, revealing the beauty and the purpose found in its scaffolding, cranes, machinery, and the line of trucks. Right now, this is all kind of constructed, and this particular piece is there in an exhibition in University of Texas in Tyler. They had a show organized. This is McKinney Silos, and I'm not sure how many of you have seen this as a this as a site. McKinney, this was a project which was initiated by McKinney City, and they invested close to $150K. They invited a muralist from Australia, and who was there for months and months, and they converted these silos into a big project itself. So for me, this was an amazing site. I had to do something for that project, and I went there a couple of times, parked my car, did the sketch, and finished this work later on. This is circa 2017. So we moved to Frisco in 2017. This is how Frisco Main Street and Frisco Street, Main Street and Frisco Street intersection looks like. You can see there's a lot of empty space, both the sides of it. Now, if you go there, you will see this all apartment complex in restaurants. The place is completely full. At that time, I did this sketch in pen and ink, and this was done recently. This particular piece was done recently because I have grown as a watercolorist, and I wanted to give it another try, another take on it. This particular piece is the intersection of Maine and Preston. This was done during election time last year. I wanted to give a take on that. So here I was aiming to capture the essence of political campaigning at a local traffic intersection. And these kind of campaigning play a major role in our voices and choices that define our democracy. So I wanted to showcase that. So all these subject matters are within the city. I mean, I don't have to invent anything. I just need to be observant of what all is happening and taking a stab on it. This is Lexington Phase 2, which is under construction. And again, capturing the sense of beauty and purpose that can be found in line of machinery in a construction site. This was done in watercolor and ink pen. This is a signature bridge in Miami, Florida. And this is my latest work inspired by a recent 10-day journey through the vibrant city of Miami. And this was done, again, in combination with pen and ink and the watercolor. And this is one structure which truly captivated me. And this is under construction yet, but it's very powerful. It's a symbol of transformation and progress for Miami as a city. Moving to my latest collection of work, Invisible Spaces. So Invisible Spaces is a solo exhibition where I'm revealing the hidden beauty in back alleys and urban utility spaces by portraying these often overlooked elements like electrical boxes or utility pipes or hanging wires. I invite viewers to see these as functional details, as essential threads which are part of our cityscapes. These places play a major role in the functioning of the front of the store, and these places are often not so well maintained. But when it comes to the energy, there is there is a quietness and meditative aspect to it. And these places are often used by the workers who are playing a major role to maintaining, having those the front side of the building, working. And I consider this is the backstory. It plays a major role in the functioning. So artwork which I'm showing here, this is the backside of a store at southwest intersection of Stonebrook and Legacy Road in Frisco. So that idea of a place which you can put it on a map, this has always been there throughout my artistic journey. And in this artwork, I added additional dimensions using bright colors and enhanced the shadows to create that powerful impact. This is visible in the exhibition as well. This is another one. This is a backside of a church called Upper Room in Frisco. This is at the main street. I mean, you can see there is a dirtiness and not so beautiful aspect of it from other aspect, but it has its own presence. It has its own energy. This is in McKinney. This is parking lot wall facing towards the road, which is connected to the Collin County History Museum to the main street. This is backside of an apartment complex on at the intersection of Main and Custer Road in Frisco as well. So there is no scarcity of and variety of these subject matters. I mean, you can find them in any place. So this is the first sketch in Invisible Spaces series, and this was done in around 2019 or 2020, and this subject matter was discovered out of kind of nowhere. So back then, I used to work for AT&T in Richardson, and I used to travel from Frisco to Richardson. And one day at the intersection of Custer and Spring Creek, there was a red light, and I stopped my car, and I could see this backside of the store from my car, and there was certain amount of energy connections, you call it, whatever you call it, and I kind of liked it. But light turned into green, and then I left the place. And the same thing happened after a couple of times. And one fine day, I stopped the car, and I turned the car, went to the place, and I did a sketch of this back street, and I did the watercolor, showed it to Gauri. She loved it. And later on, after a couple of years, when I got an opportunity to showcase my work in another art fair festival, which is organized by Sachi, it was sold on the very first day. There was a young collector. She came and she said she connected with this place. She has spent, not necessarily in the same place, in the similar setup, many days, hours, kind of, playing around with the friends or hiding, more like a hideout place for them. So she had her own story behind it. So no matter what's my stories about these places, people have their own connection, the story behind these spaces. So for me, what is more important is taking these places, capturing this mood and energy, and presenting it to the people. They will create their own understanding and an own story, behind it. So Individual Spaces exhibition is there until 29th. Our reception is scheduled for next week. Please come and join. We will have refreshment and all. That's all what I wanted to share. If you have any question, please let me know. This is the information about my phone number, email address, and social media presence.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
Hi, I'm Jimena. I love your journey. It's remarkable how you've transitioned from India to Cyprus to here, and you see all the beauty and all the urban scapes. Any moment I can see your meditation that even in airport busy lounges or stuck in traffic, you see the beauty of the overhead lights, the wires and everything. So very, very beautiful work.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't know that this group existed. Very, very nice.
Yes, we meet once in a month, second Saturday, and anybody can join. So, yeah.
Very nice.
Question, do you have to get permission from these buildings owners that when you do the invisible spaces?
Some places they have, but majority of the time it's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm wondering about the legality.
Yeah.
You know, nowadays lawyers are involved with everything, and so if you're sketching somebody's electrical system, you know, they may have a problem with that.
Yeah, I
but
mean,
I'm glad you
yeah,
haven't.
I can understand. I mean, the key aspect is a photograph can be more problematic, but sketching, I think people are okay with that. People like that aspect. Like, okay, nobody's consider them as a subject matter for art itself, so they're okay with that. I have never faced any question or challenge with that. And it doesn't really come across that exactly same. The idea is not to replicate what is out there.
Right.
Right,
Right.
right. I'm an architect, so I can appreciate what you're drawing and sketching. I like to sketch myself, but in terms of your exhibit currently in the Focus Gallery, I love the way that you've taken what we consider to be the mundane, everything that we want to hide, and elevate it to
Yeah.
fine art. And if you reduce it to the basic elements of art, of form and color and texture,
Yeah.
you've done a great job of. I hope you don't mistake this. Of taking the mundane and elevating it to what I will call fine art. They're beautiful sketches, and I appreciate anybody that can manipulate watercolor in the way you do. I've been through the exhibit a couple of times, and hope to sit in there tonight when we have a bunch of kids go through there. And it appears to be so simple, but it is so complicated and so well executed that I very much appreciate what you've done and what you're doing.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. You always have.
Well, I just want to comment. I've noticed an evolution from the beginning when you were first doing the sketches to the more recent ones. You have more color, it seems, and more designs. Have you noticed that you have evolved? Yes.
Definitely,
Yes.
definitely. I mean, initial sketches, most of them were monochromatic. Actually,
Yes.
sepia was the main tone actually, and the sepia as a tone I discovered, I would say even by chance actually, and it has a ancientness into it. I mean, if you go back, the old texture, the book texture, if they become old and things get rusted, it kind of create that beautiful kind of sepia color tone itself. So it enhances or it creates that different kind of mood into these sketches. Yeah.
I'm amazed at the intricacy of the lines that you're able to draw those lines so perfectly, even especially with the people, to get their faces the way you do.
Correct. And I'm still evolving. I mean, my color palette is not big. I mean, I generally go with 4 or 5 colors maximum altogether. This is the color set which I use it generally. I mean, you can see there are around 8 to 10 colors, and I don't use them all of them. I generally go with 3 or 4 colors maximum in a painting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. So, like one like this, how long would this take you to sketch? Is this an afternoon or do you go back?
So I go back.
You go back?
Yeah, I go back. So this is where we used to live. This is a building. I think this is a bank at the Spring Valley and Tollway. On the left side of it, actually. Yeah. We used to live in a Farmers Branch in around 2012 before we moved to Frisco. So that is from there.
No.
I actually had a question, and it was about if the Urban Sketchers, and yourself including, you sketch on site, but then you take it back to your studio and work from
Yes,
there.
I
Yeah,
do that. Yeah.
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 That's what I was wondering. Anybody else?
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Sudeep, for spending time with us this afternoon. It was fascinating, and congratulations on a beautiful exhibit.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Marcy. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for coming. Sure.